Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. May peace and blessing be upon you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Echo of Change. If you like our videos, please comment on them, share them, also subscribe to our channel, and we appreciate your continued support. Today's topic is very controversial, yet it's very important. We need to talk about it.
Brave Muslim leader. There's no other than Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Not only he took his country out of the poverty, fixed the economy, and made their army strong, became the NATO ally, and became so powerful that assisted other Muslim countries by taking and liberating their own land in Azerbaijan, and even taking Russia on. He's not scared to take Russia on. He has done that in many occasions in Syria. He's taken Russia on in Libya and in Azerbaijan. And he's shown the world that he's a true Muslim leader, and he's brave enough to stand in the United Nations Security Council and expose the greater Israeli plan and the Zionist plan. And he's brave enough every time to speak about and take action and try and support wherever Muslims have been oppressed, whether it has been Rohingya and the Muslims of Rohingya, even China, the Uyghur Muslims, they've been oppressed by Chinese, and he was the first one to talk about it. Kashmir, it's the only Muslim leader that supported Pakistan's narrative about the oppression that's been going on in the Muslims of Kashmir. Palestine, always. He's the only Muslim leader that actually does care. So he became this leader of the Muslim nation, not by any other means, but by his own actions and his support that he's shown. And that's something that MBS is really concerned about. And rightly so, because there is no Arab leader that have done anything for the Islamic nation or for Muslims across the world, ever. Look at the stance that Tayyip Erdogan took against the president of France with the Charlie Hebdo publication. Where was Mohammed bin Salman? Where was the UAE leaders? In fact, they sided with UAE. Now, having this secret meeting in Saudi Arabia, first ever visit on Saudi land, and they allowed the airspace for Saudi airline to continue flying over Saudi Arabia. Their continuous push to all the Muslim countries, in fact, in some cases, forcing the Muslim countries to accept the sovereignty of Israel by political challenge, by all sorts of methods that they can use to push the agenda. So the Muslim countries like Pakistan, all the Arab countries accept Israel, because MBS has a political agenda and they need a partner like Israel to be able to support it because of the influence that Israel has in the Western world. There is clearly political agenda. There's nothing else to it. And clearly Israel has a political agenda to claim their land. They need to have this association with Saudi Arabia. They're not going to do any favors. You have seen UAE has accepted Israel with Bahrain and other few countries, which is fine. It's their right. But Palestinians, what about them? They are furious about it. They see this as a betrayal to them. Fundamental betrayal by the Arabs. And yet the Arabs want to become the leader of Muslim nation and Muslim Ummah. How is that possible? They have gone so far to please Israel that they have put Israeli products in their malls, shopping malls already. And they want people from Israel to come in as tourists and spend money, stay in UAE. And they've softened all the laws that restrict a non-married man to live with a non-married woman or stay with them in a hotel or have a relationship. They've softened all the laws so the Jewish people from Israel could come in and feel welcomed. And they've also banned 6 or 7 Muslim countries, people, labor, or visitors. So there is no security threat for those tourists that are coming from Israel. I have a clip that I'm going to show where a very good friend has sent a clip from Dubai's mall showing what extent the UAE has gone to please Israel, because they want a political game. And don't forget, in 2023, the restrictions are going to be taken off Turkey, which also a hanging sword on the Arabs' heads, that Turkey may claim those lands back, which are now called Saudi Arabia, UAE, Abu Dhabi, and all sorts of other small countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Muslims do not hate Jews. The Zionism have an agenda to create a greater Israel, which causing all sorts of atrocities across that part of the world to fulfill their agenda or their prophecy, whatever you want to call it. It has nothing to do with Judaism. I can tell you that now. And Muslims do not hate Jews. The challenge is this oppression that's taking place. But we are not united to challenge anyone. There is an OIC, which is a Muslim Islamic conference that's taking place in Nigeria. And Palestine is not on the topic. Kashmir is not on the topic. Syria is not on the topic of the agenda. Iraq, Libya is not on the agenda to be discussed. So what is OIC going to discuss? And Arab world, the leaders of the Arab world, they control that. If we're not going to talk about the atrocity that's been taking place in Muslim world across the globe, then what is that conference is for? I let you think on that. And I'll let you see where the loyalties of the Arab leaders stands right now, with Muslims or against them. They have gone to that extent that they have rejected Pakistani narrative on highlighting the oppression that's been taking place in Kashmir against the Muslims. Rather than supporting the narrative, Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Salman has invested billions to support India. And while they're banning these Muslim countries, tourists plus workers, which is Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Libya, while they're banning people, Muslim people from there, they're allowing Indian workers to be replaced by them. Fair play for India. If that's how they are gaining support, fine. But the true face and true colors of Arab nation, from a leadership point of view, is very clear. Versus people like Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who always stands up for Muslims. He's a brave leader. And there's all sorts of conspiracies are being committed to try and take him down. And Muslim Arab leaders are part of that plan. That's a shameful act. No one speaks about it openly. No one does. But remember, وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plan and Allah plans. And Allah has the better plan. May peace and blessing be upon you wherever you are in the world. Thank you for listening to this video.